What's going on, guys, and welcome. We've got Madden NFL 18 franchise mode coming to you guys, coming to the channel finally. It's been out for maybe a week, maybe a little over a week, but I've been dinking around with practice, getting all tuned up and ready to go for our franchise gameplay. I've been getting some rosters down, learning some players, some guys that are on teams that I haven't heard of before. So it's coming along. It's coming along. I'm happy to finally introduce this and do a team reveal for you. First things first, though, I'll let you guys know that I'm probably going to do 3 franchises depending on how they go. I will be making the videos, throwing them out there, and then seeing which ones you guys like the most. This franchise mode here will be my team, so I will be selecting a team, I will be running the team, and then you kind of sit back, relax, and watch that unfold and see how the Gold Glover 9 franchise mode turns out. The second franchise mode will be me and my brother, kind of a continuation of the NCAA Team Builder dynasty. He and I are going to be in a franchise mode together. He's going to be a AFC team. I'm going to be an NFC team. And then hopefully, we kind of have some success over the years and reach it to a Super Bowl and face off against each other. So that'll be kind of the waiting game right there, so you guys can get all hyped up for that. So brotherly rivalry at that point. The third franchise is when I do a team select here or a team reveal here, I will show you guys a list of teams that I'm thinking about doing another franchise mode on, and I want you guys to select that team. I want you to vote for that team that you want to see me do. And that franchise will be a subscriber run franchise mode. So you guys are wondering how that's going to work. I will be playing the games. I'll be making some roster decisions, but I will only make those roster decisions once you guys tell me, you give me the go-ahead on it. So try to create a little more interactivity between the subscribers, try to get guys to talk to each other a little bit. Try to create a little bit more of a community feel, right? I want to get your guys' input. There's quite a bit of subscribers. I mean, think about it. Get 109 people. That's where we're at right now, is 109 subscribers. Think about 109 people in one room, and this video is a presentation that I'm going to show to you guys, right? That's a lot of people. It's a lot of people. It's a smaller YouTube channel, but it's a good community. It's a nice little small knit community, right? So I want to do this for you guys. I want to kind of give you guys something fun to do on the channel rather than just listen to me blab every sports franchise video. So so let's get this thing underway. Let's do a team reveal, and then I'll have you guys pick which team you want me to do next. All right, guys. So first things first, before I select this team, I want to let you guys know I don't like to take over teams like my favorite team, the New England Patriots. Now, don't hate on me. I've been a Patriots fan since I was like 10, right? Which was 1997, 1998. I just gave away my age right there for all you math majors if you're, gonna do some subtraction and whatever. But basically, the New England Patriots have always been my favorite team. It's not my fault that the greatest quarterback of all time was drafted by them, and he's a Michigan man, right? I'm a Michigan man. Love me some Tom Brady. So Patriots, although they would be really fun for me to do, I play with them all the time anyway. But it would be fun to do, but they're already established. They're already good, right? So how much fun is that really? I want to take control of our team that can go either way, that based on the decisions that we make in a franchise, are they going to improve or are they going to regress? So teams that are right at that fork in the road, that's who I want to focus on, not teams that, like the Raiders, 95 overall offense. I mean, Raiders are really good. The Rams are, rebuilding. The Ravens would be a kind of a team that I'm thinking about, the team that's kind of in that make or break type of season or type of position that they're in as far as the franchise goes. The Redskins are pretty solid. The Saints would be another team that are in that cusp of either bad or either good. So I'll give you guys my team reveal, and then I will give you my list of teams that I want you guys to vote on. So we are going to go with the Houston Texans. And no, it's not because of the hurricane down in Houston. It's simply because the Houston Texans have a lot of content for us to work with. J.J. Watt, 99 overall defensive player, right? Fan favorite everywhere. NFL face. He's probably one of the faces of the NFL in today's game. Deshaun Watson, just drafted quarterback. We showed him in the Clemson game against Fort Lauderdale in the NCAA video. Deshaun Watson's been one of my favorite quarterbacks through college, so it'd be a perfect situation for us to get in on the Houston Texans and try to build this thing into a winner. Right now they're rated a 82, which is actually on the lower end of the scale with as far as Madden overall ratings go. So perfect team to take over. That's what we're going to do. But guys, Houston going through a lot right now. So let's bring a winner to them for this season with that hurricane thing going on. If you guys have seen some videos on that, that's pretty heartbreaking. So keep that city, keep those people in your prayers, and hope for the best for them. I think that Houston this season, they might be a surprising team. They don't really have a lot going on for them if you guys look at the roster, but neither did the Saints when Hurricane Katrina hit back when they were a Super Bowl team, right? So Houston Texans could easily repeat that kind of thing. They've got some playmakers. They've got players to push them over the top, although they don't have a Drew Brees at quarterback. They got Tom Savage, who's listed as the starter. Bill O'Brien has not came out and said it yet, but again, Deshaun Watson, up-and-comer, so they've got some things that they can build on. So they're a perfect team to do that. But as far as your guys' franchise, I want to bring to you the Saints. Here's the list. Ready? The Saints, the Ravens. We'll throw the Rams in there. Might as well throw the Lions in. I probably know you guys are going to want me to do the Lions. We'll say no to the Jets because that's extremely, extremely hard. That's a big project. Jaguars will throw in. The Colts. I'm a Patriots guy, so I'm not big on the Colts. I hate the Cowgirls. Number one. The Chargers. We could do the Chargers, Cardinals, Browns, Bills, Bengals, and Bears. So that's the list. And I will leave that in the description below because I did kind of go pretty fast. But just remember, Bears, Bengals, Bills, all right in a row there. They're kind of mediocre at best. But that's kind of the team list, guys. So vote on that. Let me know what you think. And let's get right into this Houston Texans franchise. And just for transparency, guys, I do like to put everything on manual and full control. And I do like to be the owner of the franchise so that I'm able to set prices of jerseys and create more revenue, things of that nature, hire and fire coaches versus just being a player, signing with other teams or being a coach where you might get fired. So even though those are cool things in Madden and they're appreciated, but I like to do full control of everything. So I will be doing the owner mode. I put my quarters on for 10 minutes because in my analysis over the course of the last week, some of these games have gone by really quickly, and the offensive numbers and defensive numbers are pretty skewed. Offense is too low, defense is too good in relation to how many offensive yards were gained. So 10-minute quarters are probably fine. Accelerated clock is off just because of that. And then I do put it on All Pro, All Madden. Like it says, All Madden makes your opponent almost impossible to stop. So I want it to be a little realistic here. I'm not the greatest Madden player, but I'm good enough to play at All Pro. I understand the ins and outs of football. So we'll do that. And then starting point is preseason. We'll just simulate those, see how we did, who's going to get cut, etc., and then we'll get right into the gameplay. All right, guys, we are the Houston Texans. We're going to get this thing underway. Finally, let's do this thing. Let's go. But first, I want to talk about the offense and the defense, just kind of give you a preview on what I see and what I'm thinking about doing to make this team better, to push it over the top. So, first things, Deshaun Watson is rated higher overall than Tom Savage, but I think for realism's sake, we'll probably go with Tom Savage for week 1, just to kind of give it that realistic feel, even though I like Deshaun Watson. I hope that he does get the nod for the starting job. Will Fuller is actually hurt to start the season, and they're thinking he may be out for the year, but then there are some people talking that if he pushes himself in rehab, he might be able to get back later on at the tail end of the season. So we'll see what happens, but good wide receiver out of Notre Dame. Bruce Ellington, he's okay, not too bad. Lamar Miller, Alfred Blue, Deonta Foreman, and Akeem Hunt. That's a stacked running back. That's not a trio. I don't know, a quadruple set, a running back core. Let's just call it a running back core. Lamar Miller with some speed. He can do a lot. He's an all-purpose back. Alfred Blue is more of a poor man's version of Lamar Miller, but I do like Alfred Blue. He's pretty solid. Deonta Foreman, they just drafted him. And Akeem Hunt out of Purdue is a nice little speedster, kind of a special teams player. Braxton Miller, slot guy. We may need to address wide receiver, even though these guys kind of fit Deshaun Watson's profile, right? Short accuracy, throws on the run. His deep accuracy is not too great, but these guys aren't going to stretch the field. Braxton Miller, not going to stretch the field. Jalen Strong, not going to stretch the field. Will Fuller and DeAndre Hopkins could, though. They've got the speed and the wide receiver ability to do that. I just think that Jalen Strong, if we do 4 wide sets with Miller and Strong, they might have some success on the linebackers if they're lined up in that way. Offensive line, that is a big issue for the Texans. There's not a whole lot to love here. Probably the average rating is a 75 overall, even with Dwayne Brown being an 88. CJ Fedorowicz with an 85, Ryan Griffin 74. It's a pretty good dual tight end set. So I do like the offense. The only issue is we've got to figure out this offensive line. That's probably why Lamar Miller did not have as good as a season last year in Houston as he had in Miami. Just not a very good offensive line. Taking a look at the defense here, J.J. Watt, obviously the player that stands out with Jadeveon Clowney. So these guys are great players. Bernard McKinney and Whitney Merciless. Great linebacking core here with Clowney, McKinney, and Merciless. The only issue for this team is the defensive line. Really. The defensive backs are pretty solid. That'll get you by, right? Hall, Jonathan Joseph, Marcus Gilchrist, these players will get you by, right? But 74s and 72s at defensive line is probably not going to cut it. So we need to focus on getting younger, right? I mean, a lot of these guys are pretty young, right? 2-year pro for Covington, rookie for Carlos Watkins, DJ Reader, 1-year pro. So it's not like I meant to say we need to get younger, meaning faster and stronger. It's just more of a sense we need to get younger in the fact that we've got players to build on, right? These guys might be depth guys, right? In the future, it might be depth guys, but they're not players to build on. You're not drafting these guys in the first round, is what I'm trying to say. So we need to get younger on the defensive side of the ball and offensive line, and get players that we have a quick progression with so we can draft them, turn around, instant starters, and they're starting to produce. So that's kind of what I meant to say. We need players to start producing in respect to their overall rating, and 74s, 72s is not going to cut it. So let's actually check out the free agents and see what is out there to improve the roster. So as you guys can see, a lot of tight ends, Ladarius Green, Gary Barnidge, some pretty good tight ends. Dennis Pitta, we don't really need a tight end though. D'Angelo Williams, 85 overall. Anquan Bolden, who has just retired. He'd be an interesting sign. to be honest with you, because he sounded like he didn't really want to play for the Bills, so he just decided to retire. Maybe he's in one foot and out the other. Vince Wilfork, I would do it. I would sign him, but I think he's pretty much done. Not looking for work. Vincent Jackson, kind of the same deal. Ryan Matthews there. Dan Williams, he'd be a nice ad, right? Tennessee, 6'3". He'd be a nose tackle. That's exactly what Vince Wilfork was for the Houston Texans. And with a big guy like that, right in the middle of the defensive line with J.J. Watt, that's almost the perfect situation. So, Dan Williams, come on over, bud. You're only a 7-year pro. You're 30 years old. Let's sign you. All right, so we kind of short up the defensive tackles, the defensive line. Brandon Flowers would be a kind of a good ad, I think. Darrelle Revis is still in there. He's a free agent. I haven't heard or seen it on Twitter or anywhere else that he's really called it quits. So I'm not too sure what his intentions are going forward. But wide receivers, Stevie Johnson, Eddie Royal would be a nice ad. Marcus Wilson, Quentin Patton, Andrew Hawkins, Dorial Green-Beckham. We could take a chance on Dorial Green-Beckham, guys. Could do it. He's not too expensive. 24 years old. He's still a project wide receiver. Charles Johnson had a couple good years for Minnesota. Devin Hester. we're not really considered Devin Hester, and then we start getting into some 60s. So I think I want to give Dorial Green-Beckham a shot. The guy's too good and too talented to not put it all together and really get it going here. So, guys, we figured out at least a little bit some depth at wide receiver, and then putting Dan Williams in right in the middle there, that helps out a ton. I mean, that just got instantly better. Let's take a look at some offensive linemen. You guys can kind of see there's not a whole lot left. 79 for Bernardo. Eric Mangold, 82 overall center. He wouldn't be a bad ad. Garrett Reynolds from North Carolina. He wouldn't be a bad ad either. But then again, I think we're just better off sticking with our guys, right? Because if you look at it, 5 points better, right? Greg Mance, 81 overall, so he's not really even that bad compared to Mangold. So we might just have to stick these guys out throughout the season. So we'll see how they do in preseason. And then that is it for this episode 1 of the Houston Texans franchise mode. Episode 2, we will get right into simulating all 4 weeks of the preseason, seeing how everything turned out, and we'll get right into week 1 gameplay action. So again, guys, keep Houston in your thoughts and prayers. Go Houston, go Texans. I will see you guys in the next one. Leave a like if you like this thing, if you're excited about the Houston Texans franchise. And if you're new here, hit that red button if you like it, love it, and want more of it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.